The bell above the diner door rang sharply, cutting through the low hum of afternoon conversation. Coffee cups paused mid-air, forks hovered over plates, and in the corner booth a 14-year-old boy froze. A uniformed officer gripped his wrist just a little too tightly. No one moved at first, not the waitress, not the truckers. The air thickened with the kind of tension that makes people look down at their plates and pretend they didn't see. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. Eli Carter had only come in for pie. He still had his backpack slung over one shoulder, textbooks inside, a math test folded neatly in the front pocket. Chocolate smudged the corner of his mouth. He'd been distracted thinking about the robotics competition he wanted to join, wondering if they could afford the entry fee. Officer Daniels stood tall over him, jaw tight. "You fit the description," Daniels said. Eli blinked. "Of what, sir?" The officer didn't answer directly. A convenience store 2 blocks away had reported a shoplifting. The suspect was described vaguely. Teenage male, dark hoodie. Eli wore a dark hoodie. Inside Daniel's mind churned a mixture of pressure and pride. The call had come during a slow shift. He had been eager to prove himself proactive. Crime statistics had risen lately. Supervisors were watching. He looked at Eli and saw what he thought was certainty. Eli felt his pulse in his throat. He wasn't used to this kind of attention. He was used to blending in quiet kid, good grades, polite smile. Now the entire diner stared. As Daniels tugged him from the booth, "I didn't take anything," Eli whispered, voice shaking. A woman near the window shifted uncomfortably but said nothing. Daniels turned him around to pat him down. The grip was firm, too firm. Eli winced. "Sir, that hurts." The words hung in the air like something fragile. In the kitchen doorway, old Mr. Halpern, the diner's owner, wiped his hands on a towel. He'd seen Eli come in every Tuesday. The kid always ordered the same slice of pie, paid in exact change. "Officer," Halpern began carefully, "he's just a regular." Daniels cut him off. "Sir, please step back." Outside, clouds gathered, turning the afternoon dim and gray. Rain threatened but hadn't fallen yet. The world felt suspended. Eli's thoughts spiraled. What if they take me downtown? What if mom gets scared? What if dad finds out? His father, Daniel Carter, was supposed to meet him there in 20 minutes. Their weekly ritual, pie and conversation, no phones allowed. Across town, Daniel was finishing a call he couldn't postpone. Federal work rarely respected personal schedules. As an FBI agent, he'd learned to compartmentalize to leave the danger at the office. But when his phone buzzed with a notification from a concerned diner patron who recognized him, the compartment walls cracked. There was a photo attached, his son, restrained. Daniel didn't speed, he didn't panic outwardly. But his knuckles whitened on the steering wheel as he turned toward the diner. Back inside, Daniels had found nothing in Eli's pockets except pencils and a crumpled permission slip. Still, pride kept him rigid. "You match the description," he repeated, though his voice had softened. Eli's eyes glistened, not with anger but humiliation. The entire room had watched him treated like a criminal. A moral tension filled the space. Daniels believed he was doing his job. Eli knew he had done nothing wrong. The bystanders wrestled with their own silence. Then the bell above the door rang again. Daniel Carter stepped in, rain finally beginning to tap against the windows behind him. He took in the scene in one slow sweep, his son's trembling hands, the officer's stance, the diner's quiet. He didn't shout. He walked forward steadily, voice calm but edged with steel. "Is there a problem here?" Daniel straightened. "Sir, please step back. This doesn't concern you, it concerns me," Daniel replied evenly. "Because that's my son." The words shifted the atmosphere instantly. Recognition flickered in Daniel's eyes as Daniel presented his credentials. Not dramatically, just a leather wallet opened with quiet authority. The room went completely silent. Daniel stepped back, color draining from his face. I was responding to a call, and you have every right to investigate," Daniel said, "but you also have a responsibility to be certain before you apply force." His voice wasn't angry, it was controlled, disappointed. Eli watched his father not as a federal agent, but as a man choosing restraint over rage. Daniel swallowed hard. "I apologize." The word seemed small compared to the weight in the room. Daniel crouched beside Eli. "You okay?" Eli nodded, though his pride had taken a bruise deeper than his wrist. "I'm sorry, son," Daniel said quietly, "not for the officer's actions, but for the world that sometimes demanded strength too early." Daniel stood there, confronted not by rank, but by the realization of his assumptions. The convenience store later clarified. The Suspect had already been caught, different jacket, different build, the mistake was undeniable. I let urgency cloud judgment, Daniels admitted, voice low. Daniel met his eyes. We all carry responsibility. The badge just makes yours visible. There was no shouting, no revenge, only accountability. Daniels offered Eli a direct apology this time, not to the agent, to the boy. I'm sorry. Eli hesitated. His chest still felt tight. But he saw something genuine in the officer's expression regret, not defensiveness. It's okay, Eli said softly, just please don't do that to someone else. The simplicity of it struck harder than anger. Outside, the rain began to fall steadily, washing dust from the sidewalks. Inside, the diner slowly exhaled. Daniel and Eli returned to their booth. The pie had gone cold, but neither seemed to mind. They talked longer than usual that day about fairness, about courage, about how strength isn't about power over someone. It's about control over yourself. Daniels remained outside for a long moment after leaving, staring at his reflection. He understood now that authority without awareness can wound deeper than intent ever means to, because real justice requires humility. Power without empathy is weakness in disguise, and sometimes the loudest lesson is taught in a quiet room. If this story meant something to you, share your thoughts below and tell me how you would have handled that moment. Subscribe to Cinematic Whispers for more powerful stories that challenge assumptions and remind us that character is revealed when no one expects it.